My name is Lorraine Romero, and I'm a public health nurse. What actually motivated me was when I was getting my bachelor's. I did a rotation in public health, and I fell in love with it. And at that moment, I decided I wanted to be a public health nurse. I come into the office sometimes about 7 a.m., and then I check my schedule. I may have 3 clients scheduled, or I might have, 2, and I will get ready for my visits. If it's a new one, I get all the proper documentation that we need for, like consents for HIPAA consents. And then I also check to see what referrals they may need or resources. So the bulk of my job is mostly going into the home of clients and visiting the families. And I can visit a family up to an hour. It just varies. It may be longer sometimes, even up to 2, depending on the needs. So I will visit the families, do my assessments, and then do my resources, education in the home. And then when I return back to the office, I'll finish my charting. The primary duty of my role is to ensure that families maintain well health as best as possible, and that may mean just kind of helping them connect to resources, whether it's transportation, calling a doctor to get established to primary care. We're trying to help patients be self-sufficient and be able to stay as healthy as possible. I interact with community members all the time. Sometimes we just need to call to find out if there's a resource available. Like for instance, last week I had someone that needed a car seat, a young mom. So I got in contact with the car seat coordinator, and she was able to, tell me when the next class was available and where the client could get a car seat. I do see a lot of Spanish-speaking moms, and they are unable to make calls to the doctor if they're, intimidated by it. So we do, we role play that throughout the case being open. At the end, they're calling themselves, making their own appointments, and that's a good thing. My most memorable experience in public health is when I, have a client reach out to me a couple years later, and they tell me their child's doing great. This may be a premature baby, and they're, may say, oh, the child's in kindergarten, everything's good, and they just report back just very healthy, positive outcomes. I would advise a student to take advantage when they're in nursing school, to do as many rotations that they can as a student, just so they can learn more about it and, just go for it. I learned that when you enter a client's home or a patient's home, you're in their space. So you really, have to kind of, set the pace that they, your main thing is to just establish rapport and have a lot of, it's a little different than going in a clinic or in a hospital. So you just kind of work around with the client. If I could go back to my 21-year-old self, I would say as a student, just try to do as much as you can. Maybe see if you can do additional rotations just to learn more.